Alright, this is me rigging up my 95 YJ for sleep while on a camping trip. This is with the platform, the sleeping platform and the cargo platform installed. I've already removed the two bags that were on top of the platform. The green one was my personal gear bag, like hygiene items and clothing. I've moved that into the driver's seat. The dry bag is my sleeping gear, so it's a modular sleep system. I've just removed the refrigerator and put it next to the passenger side tire. It will stay there for the night. If the weather was bad, either it would be underneath the cover of the Kelty tarp, or I would just place a poncho over it. The table was just removed. I will set that up for cooking duties and also just general use for anybody who wants to use it. Alright, so I'm loosening the battery here. Once I get things unloaded, I will turn that battery to where the plugs are facing the front of the Jeep, so at night I don't accidentally roll over and break a plug off or unhook a plug by accident. Removing the rest of the things. Yeah, the 2-burner stove will go over on the table. The two milk crates that you see in there, which are rigid crates, they will come out. One of them is my cooking gear crate that will just go either on or underneath the table. The other one is just a general campsite item box, and I'll just set that off to the side or under cover if the weather's bad. The blue bag is my Kelty tarp. It will not get used. This is my sleeping pad, which goes on top of this platform here. You can inflate this pad either by blowing into it, or I'm about to grab my blower and air it up here in a minute after I set up the water pump. The nozzle on my water pump would fill while I was setting this up, and I would eventually just have to use the line. The orange line that you see there would just be open-ended. Then I would hook the pump up to battery power whenever I needed water for brushing teeth or refilling my Nalgene bottle. One thing I did find out is that it will in fact gravity feed. I left the line hanging off the tail light overnight, and it wound up draining about half of my water supply out on the ground. Here I'm priming the system. It's a pretty low flow with decent pressure. You actually have to remove the nozzle from the end to get the system to prime. And during this process is whenever the adjuster on the nozzle broke off, rendering the nozzle useless. All said and done, this whole process in this video took me about 15 minutes. If I have to set up the Kelty tarp, oh, here I come with the blower. I'm going to just inflate it real quick, much faster than blowing into it. It does self-inflate to some extent, but I like mine to be like my sleeping pad to be a little firmer, so I usually add extra air. If I have to set up the Kelty tarp in bad weather, then that takes more time, obviously. This basic setup takes about 15 minutes. I'm setting up my sleeping equipment right now, and I'm about to be done. When this is done, it's just a matter of closing the back window and the doors, and I'm ready to go for the rest of the night. I would actually run the heater this night for 12.5 hours just as a test, and it would burn a little less than half a tank of fuel and only about 30% of my battery.